Hello, this is Next Home Services. How can I help? Simply picking up the phone is too much for home services companies while they're on the tools. They're too busy, and so they leave thousands in revenue on the table. Customers expect instant replies to messages or calls. Give me the next 30 minutes and I'm going to show you how to solve that instantly without hiring extra staff and by showing you how to build a simple AI agent with this tool that answers both the phone and text inquiries in real time. This is how the final agent looks like. It's like an AI chatbot on the one hand and an AI voice agent on the other. And at the end of the day, you get back to a fully booked agenda. In the next 30 minutes, we're going to discuss the following 5 steps you need to build an AI agent easily. No tech skills required, no fluff. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to get all of the new AI agents I'm building as part of this 30-day challenge where I put one new agent out every day. We will first have a look at a live demo, both of the voice agent and the text agent on your website. Then we will design the AI agent conversation step by step very easily. Once that's done, we will use a tool called Voiceflow that is super easy to set up, where we will implement each of the steps one by one. Finally, we will connect this agent to a phone number that we can call so your clients can reach you 24/7. And this AI agent is like a real person connected to a phone number that we will see right now. And then we will add a chatbot interface to your website, like the one we saw just now, where your website visitors can instantly interact with the AI and ask everything they ask on the phone as well. Your availability, your quotes, and instantly book an appointment with you for the next time you're available. There are no tech skills required. This is step by step, 1 to 3, easy and beginner friendly. And I'm sharing the complete AI agent in the link in the description below that you can directly import into Voiceflow and get started right away. There is no work for you required whatsoever except for changing a few login details, plus links to all the tools discussed today so you can hit the ground running. But first, I'm going to call this AI agent so you can see what a real conversation looks like, and at the same time we will follow the internal CRM where we save all the bookings so that you can see that it actually books a meeting in real time. Here we go.
Hello, thank you for your message. Could you please briefly describe the issue you're experiencing in one sentence?
Yeah, so I've got a problem with a huge tree. I just want to have it cut and it's causing lots of trouble.
It sounds like you want to have a large tree cut down because it's causing trouble. Let me check if this is an urgent issue or if it can be scheduled. Would you say this is an emergency or urgent situation?
No, it's not urgent, but you know, when we've got these huge winds coming up, it can be a nuisance and maybe the tree would fall off and hit someone.
This sounds like tree trimming and removal service. Would you like a quick price estimate?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Great. To proceed with the booking, may I please have the service address where the tree removal will take place? So, if there are any access notes such as gate code, pet, or parking instructions, please let me know.
Can you maybe first give me a price range, please?
Certainly. The price range for the tree trimming and removal service is between $250 and $800. The exact price may depend on the size and complexity of the job. Now, could you please provide the service address and any access notes like gate codes, pets, or parking instructions to proceed with the booking?
Of course. So I live at 13 Park Lane and you have to ring the bell number 7, and please make sure that you find the red door once you're inside and knock on it 3 times.
Thank you for the additional note. So, the service address is 13 Park Lane, ring bell number 7. And once inside, find the red door and knock on it 3 times. Now, could you please provide your full name, the best phone number to reach you, and your email address for confirmation?
Of course, my name is Robert Hangu. My phone number is +44 334 1769. And my email address is robert.hangu@gmail.com.
Thank you, Robert Hangu. Here is the information I have so far. Service address, 13 Park Lane. Access note, ring bell number 7, find the red door one side and knock on it 3 times. Full name, Robert Hangu. Phone number, +44 3341. Email address, roberthangu@gmail.com. Please confirm if all the details are correct or if you would like to make any changes.
Yeah, everything's correct. Please proceed.
Thank you, Robert. Your details have been recorded successfully. When would you like us to come for the tree trimming and remove service? Would you prefer today, tomorrow, or a specific day?
How about, let's say Tuesday around noon?
On Tuesday, September 9th, 2025, we have several available time slots around noon. Here are some options: 1200 p.m., 12:30 p.m., 1 o'clock p.m. Please let me know which time works best for you, or if you would like to see other available slots.
Yeah, let's do 12:30, right after lunch. I like that time.
I have successfully scheduled your tree trimming and remove service for Tuesday, September 2025 at 12. p.m. The quoted price range for this service is between $250 and $800. I'm now finalizing the book details. Please hold on a minute.
All right, my phone signal isn't the best where I'm at, but it still shows that it has done its job. So let's have a look at the internal CRM system where the bookings have been made. And we can see it here. We have 13 Park Lane, and the issue is tree trimming and removal. So this is a link to the actual service. So if we have a look here, we can basically see that these are all the details that it needs. And this is a link to the services and prices, right? Then it shows that it has linked to my new contact that it has created in the database. So this is the list of all your clients. This shows that it has saved my phone number, my address, and any details that it needs to take care of, like for example, find the red door and knock on it 3 times. So your home services company can now come to this bookings table and see what's coming up, and it can see the date, the time, and any details and access notes and how much it will take and how much the quoted price was. And if now I go to my calendar, I can see that there's an event scheduled here, which was scheduled for Tuesday the 9th of September at 12:30 p.m., exactly how I instructed it. And this invited both the home services company and the client so that both have this in their calendar. All of this is configurable. The duration, the email addresses that are connected to this, everything can be set up for your home services company as you like it to have. And now I'm going to show you that you can do exactly the same thing on your homepage with this little chatbot here. So you've got this button here at the lower right. And here, for example, I started a demo just now about a dirty carpet. And if we quickly have a look at our services, this is the service that I'm targeting. And this can be any of the services that your company is offering. And now I can continue here. And it says, it sounds like you need a carpet cleaning service. We offer carpet cleaning services. Would you like a quick price estimate? Okay. And I say, yes, go ahead. And now it's looking at the prices and we can compare it against the database. So it's 320 and takes 210 minutes. And we can see here in our database 320 and 210 minutes. So it connects to your internal service database. And then it again asks me the same questions that I was asked on the phone. What's the address? And I'll say a different address, 234 Maple Grove. Any access notes? I say proceed through the garden towards the front door and ring the bell. Again, it takes note of these details. Now it asks me for my personal information. I'll provide my name, my email address, and my phone. So now let's check a preferred day, and let's say we want it Thursday in the late afternoon. Now it will find a suitable slot, and it gives me a few time ranges here, and I'll say let's do 4:30 p.m. And we can see that it has successfully booked a calendar invite here for 4:30 p.m. It has created a client here in the database based on my name and all the details. And then it has created a booking with the service carpet cleaning, the issue description, what needs to be done, carpet cleaning service required, and then the access details and providing a preferred time window as well. So everything has been stored both via text and via phone. So now that the first step is done, let's get our hands dirty and build this. The next step is designing the AI agent conversation flow top down so we can see what each step of the conversation looks like. So I will just use a plan diagram here. Super easy to define these steps one by one. So the first step is a greeting step. So we call it greeting. And this is very straightforward. The AI agent will just say, hi, I'm this and that. Welcome to Next Home Services. And that's it. Now the second step is more interesting, which deals with the issue capturing. Here the AI agent will ask, okay, what has happened? How urgent is it? And depending on that, it can decide if it should dispatch somebody right away or if it should just log a normal ticket, okay? So for the sake of this demo, we will stick with a regular non-urgent problem. The next step will be about classifying the issue and quoting the service. Here, the AI agent will understand what this is about and look up the service catalog of your home services company. For this, we will draw a connection here to the database, which will be your internal CRM system, where you store all of the services that you offer and with the pricing, the time it takes, and so on. We'll use Airtable for this. I'll show you in a bit how to set it up. And we connect the two. We see the arrow goes from the database to the step, which means that the AI agent reads from the database. Now, if the client is happy with that, we proceed to the next step, which is gathering the contact details. This is important so that we know where to dispatch somebody, and this is connected to the database as well. But in this case, it goes towards the database. So it means we write to the database. We create a new client there. Now, to make this clearer, I've created some labels here. So when we gather the client details and the contact details, it creates a client towards the database. And when it needs to quote the services, it will read the service from the database. Once we've gathered the details, we continue to availability check and availability negotiation. For this, the AI agent needs to have a look into the calendar of your company to check availability. So here, we'll also draw a database. It is not a database per se, but in a sense it is, because it stores the availability. It is your calendar, which is a database of the events that's happening there. And we'll call it calendar availability. The arrow also goes upwards because we read data from it, and we will call it get availability. Now here, there will be a very short back and forth, hopefully, with the client, where the AI agent is asking, okay, when are you available? And the client says a time, and then the AI agent will look into the calendar and see if there's time for somebody to come and fix the issue or not. Once that's done, the actual slot will be confirmed and booked. And for this, we will write to the calendar and we will name this create booking. Finally, the last step is confirmation and wrap up. And in this step, the AI agent will say, okay, thank you. Somebody will be with you at that time. They will repeat it and they will close the conversation, whether be it the chat or hang up the phone. By this time, a ticket will already have been created in the database for your home services company and in your calendar. And at the same time, the client has received a calendar invite for this appointment. So for your team, this means that while you're on the tools, this event has already been created and all the details collected already, so that once you get back home, you can view it inside your CRM system and save all the back and forth of manually writing all the details, gathering all the details from the client, calling them back, and so on and so forth. So the next step in our agenda, after we've designed the AI agent conversation flow that we have done just now, is to implement it in Voiceflow, which is a tool that allows us to map all these steps that we have seen just now into actual prompts that guide the AI agent through this conversation flow. So for this, we will go to voiceflow.com. If you don't already have an account, you can sign in and create one. If you already have one, this is how the dashboard looks like. Here we go to the left into project, and we create new project. Here we will name this project and we will click start from scratch. This is the canvas where we will design each step of the conversation flow. And you can see that it looks very similar to what we did previously in Miro, where we designed a high level conversational overview, but it has its own building blocks. So we can see all building blocks up here on the left, and we can see that there are various. So there are building blocks to send the messages, to listen, to gather data, and also to connect with tools. But recently, Voiceflow has introduced this new tool called Agent. So it's the agent block, which encompasses all of these tools, and it can smartly choose each of them depending on how the conversation goes. So what we will do now is we will choose an AI agent step for each one of the flows that we saw earlier. So we will first drag this here and we will name this. And the first step, as we saw, is greeting. We will click on select agent. And here we will click new agent. We will name this agent again greeting. The name is not really important. You can name it however you like, but the important part here is the instructions. So here we have to come up with a prompt that tells the agent, okay, what should it do at this step? How should it greet me or greet the client? So we will prompt it like we would do ChatGPT. So we start with steps. And we'll give it a name and an identity. We say, you are Jenny, the AI assistant for Next Home Services. Greet the customer politely, and we'll say you should ask what issue they are contacting you about today. You'll keep it short and conversational, and once the customer has provided you with their request, immediately transition to the next step. And this is important. We will specify this transition as well over here in exit conditions. So we'll click exit condition, and then we will click here to specify the name of the exit condition. So this is when should they transition. And we will specify this as customer provided the reason for their message, customer provides reason for message, so issue, pricing, schedule, etc. So whenever the AI agent stumbles upon this intent, so to speak, it knows that it will have to go to the next step. So the exit condition will get triggered. Two small details that we need to specify. We select the model here. So this is the AI model that's underlying this agent. And we will go with GPT-4.1 Mini. It is a very good model that balances performance and cost. And we will set the temperature to 0.1 such that it's very deterministic. And this is important because we want it to stick with all these instructions that we've given it. We don't want it to make up any kind of stuff. And then we will shut off knowledge base here because at this stage, we will just stick with the prompts. So there is no knowledge base needed, but this might be important in other scenarios. Okay, once that's done, we see that this AI agent has been populated here and that we have an exit condition. And here we will connect this exit condition to the next AI agent. So we will drag this one here. We will connect the exit condition here. And to quickly go back to our me row, the second step was issue capturing. So we will call this issue capturing. Again, we do the same thing. We select the agent, we create new agent. We'll give it a name and now we'll prompt it. Here our steps are the following. We have to ask the customer to briefly describe the issue in one sentence. Then they have to check for urgency to see if, okay, should somebody be dispatched right now, or is this something that can be done over the next day or the next few days? So it should ask questions like, for example, is any water currently leaking or flooding, or similar questions about the particular problem of the customer. If so, mark the urgency as emergency, otherwise leave the urgency classification for later. And then proceed to the next step where you'll map to a service from the catalog. So here we'll specify the exit condition, which is the customer provides a description of the issue. So once that has happened, it can proceed to the next step. Again, we select the same model here, GPT-4.1 mini. Setting the temperature, and we're all set, and we can proceed to the third step, drag in an AI agent again, the same workflow. You see that this becomes quite repetitive, and this is normal because once we figured out how the high-level workflow is here in Miro, everything that's left is to just map each of these steps back into the Voiceflow steps, plus adding the correct prompts such that the agent behaves as we want it to behave. So the third step will be called classify issue and quote. Same thing, create new agent, and here we introduce the prompt. Here we have various steps. We will start with summarizing the customer's issue in plain words, then map the issue to a service from the catalog, which we'll have to connect. The language should be like, this sounds like this service. Would you like a quick price estimate? If they agree, then call the price lookup tool and then communicate the result. And important, do not guess prices, always use the get available services tool. And this is what we will do now. We will have to now connect to the Airtable database such that this tool makes sense. So first, let's start to build the tool. So we click up here where you see tools. You see there are already some integrations, but we will go with plus API call. And then here, no API tool exists. Create an API tool. And now we will call this API tool up here exactly with this name, get available services. We can call it however we wish, but the more descriptive it is, the more likely it is that the AI agent understands it and what it is good for. And we will also enter a description here, and we will say, gets the available services and prices of the home services company. And now what we have to do is we have to specify a connection string over here with which we connect the AI agent to the Airtable database. But the thing is, we don't have an Airtable database yet. So let's go ahead and create one. We will go to airtable.com. By the way, I'm just reminding you that I will share all these links in the description below together with the complete AI agent that you can import directly into Voiceflow, so you don't have to write anything down. Now, this is how the Airtable interface looks like. And what we will do now is we will go down here to create, and we will click create, and then we will click build an app on your own. And we see that Airtable looks very much like Google Sheets. We will quickly hide this sidebar here with the AI agent. So we see that it's like Google Sheets. It's like a table, and we can write stuff into these tables, into the cells. It has columns. The columns have different types. So it is very familiar if you've already used Google Sheets. Now what we need to do is we need to fill this in with all the details that we need. So we will have 3 tables over here. So the first table we will call services and prices. This is the table that is most important for us in this particular agent step. And then we will have 2 other tables. We will click start from scratch. We will call this table clients. And then the last table we will call bookings. Now, each of these tables has different columns, and I've already prepared a table for this demo so that we save a bit of time. And this is how it looks like. These are some sample services and prices, and the details we need for them. We can see up here in the columns, we have the service name, the pricing type, if it's fixed or hourly, what the price is, and if it's a price range, it's the min price, max price, then the duration in minutes, then if it's an emergency, how much is the surcharge, and then any bookings that have been made here. here, which are based on the clients. So we have a look at the clients table. So each client has a full name, phone number, email address, their address where they live, and any notes. And they're also connected to the bookings. So the bookings will have the address, the client, which is a link to the actual client. So if we click here, then a new window appears where we can see all of the details of the client like in a CRM. So Airtable is a bit more sophisticated than Google Sheets, and it also has some automations, plus it has this CRM feel to it. Now what we will have to do now is we will have to connect this table of bookings into our AI agent, but first we need to connect the services and prices table, such that at this step, the AI agent can read them to the client. So how do we get this connection string that we needed here in Voiceflow? Well, we click down here on this question mark, and then we click on API documentation. So the API is the actual connection to this database. And what we see here is specifically generated for exactly this database. So we can see the tables here. So we click on services and prices first, and then we click on list records because we want a connection string to list all these records. And this is called a GET request. GET means it reads data, POST means it writes data. And there's some others that I won't get into here. And we will need this string over here up to the question mark. This is what we'll need. And this is what we will paste into Voiceflow. So we paste it here. And then we need authentication headers. So this will be called authorization. And this is like a password. This is the API key. This means that only the person that knows this API key can access this table. So this protects your data from people who don't have access to it. And the way you specify it is you say bearer and then the API key, whatever it might be. So how do we get the API key? Again, we go back to our Airtable table. We go down here again and we click on our profile picture and then on account. And over here we click on Go to Developer Hub, and then we click Create Token, and then we click Create Token again, and then here we can specify the name of the token. So let's call it AI Agent, and then we can also specify the scopes, which is important. We have to do this. So we will need data records read, so we can read data, and data records write. So this just means what rights does somebody with this API key have for the data here. So you can have various API keys for various people or systems in your company, each one having different rights here. And then finally, we will click on Create Token. Now, I won't do this because I already have a token for this demo, and I will use this token right here inside Voiceflow. Now, once that's done, we can run a test. So to see if the connection is right, and we do this by clicking Run over here. And then we can see here everything that was transmitted through this API connection. And we can see that here we have all the services, all the data, right? So we have the service name, leak diagnosis, pricing fixed, the price, how long it takes in minutes, emergency surcharge, and so on. So this way we can see that the connection actually works before we go into production and deploy this API. Now we close this. We see that the tool is activated. Again, we'll choose the model and the temperature. And this is it. We just need an exit condition, which is the customer confirms understanding of the service and accepts. So they want to proceed with the booking. And step 3 is done. Now we'll pull a different agent that will collect the data. We will connect this exit condition to it again, just quickly seeing if we're still on track with the Miro. And this is what we did. For classifying the issue, we would get the services from the Airtable database. And now we will gather client details and connect them to the Airtable database to create a new client. This is what we'll do at step 4 now. So we will copy this name. We will name this block as such. We will create an agent here and we will prompt it. So the steps are politely collect the service address and any access notes. So if there's a gate code, ask for the full name, phone number, and email. Repeat the details back for confirmation. Important because depending if they're on the phone or texting via the website chatbot, for example, on the phone, the signal might be bad, names might be misspelled by the AI agent. So it's always important to repeat the details back. And then call the create client tool to save their record. Once the customer was created, exit to the next step to check for availability. So we will need this tool now, create client. Same thing, we click on plus over here at tools, API call, new API tool, and we will call this create client. And we will name it and provide the description as creates a new client in the database. Now here we will do something else because we write to the database. We don't have a get type of request. We have a post type of request. And here again, we need to go to the Airtable documentation to see the connection string. Now I'm back at the Airtable documentation and here on the left, I will choose create records. So now the subsection with create records opens up and we can see that it issues a post request. So this is what we need. And here we have to go to the clients table first, create records, and here we will copy the connection string again as just now. We'll paste it in here, but now we need to specify what data is being written. We didn't have this in the GET request because the tables were already there, the data was already there, so we would just read them. But now we will actually have to write something back. And here is an example of how this should look like. So these are two records that are provided by the API documentation as examples. So we will just copy one of them. So I will just copy everything until here. And here we specify in the body, this is where we specify the data. We will choose raw, and JSON is this type of data that we write. I will paste this over here. I just need to close this bracket, and then I will need to close the accolade, and now it's correct. So now we need these details, and we will provide them through variables. Variables can be specified by clicking the plus button over here to input variables, and we don't have to worry about them because Voiceflow is so smart, respectively the AI agent is so smart that it can extract them from the conversation and fill in these variables. So I will now have a variable for the full name, and I have to provide a description so the LLM knows how to fill it in, and I'll say the full name of the client. Then I have another one for the phone, one for the email, one for the home address, and one for notes. Now I've specified all these variables here, and now I have to insert them over here. And I do this with a special notation that I can use throughout Voiceflow. I just use these accolades. And here I start typing the name, and it shows me suggestions. So this is like search autocomplete on Google search if you wish. And I can just click it and it will insert the variable here. And I do this for every other variable over here. Once this is done, I can do a test again. So I will click run as we did before. And now, since we are not in an actual conversation for the LLM to be able to extract the details from the conversation, I have to input these details here myself. So I will just provide some sample data here, which I did. And now I can click run. And we can see that we needed one more thing. It says authentication required. So I forgot to provide the API key. Again, we'll do this via headers, where I'll provide it here. And now I can run the test again, and we can see that it worked because the API returned the data of the record that has been just created. So I can see when the full name, phone, email address, and any notes, and also the ID of this record, which is important later on because the AI agent will use this to link a booking that I will make to my record. Now I can close this. The tool is ready. I'll deselect knowledge base again. We're going to specify the exit condition again. We'll say if the data was collected and the costume was successfully created. We'll provide a short description as previously, and again select the model, set its temperature, and we are done. Step 4 is done. Let's go to step 5, where we will check calendar availability. So again, we connect the exit condition to the next block. Let's go quickly back to our diagram in Miro to see if we are on track. We've just finished this. We gathered the client details and created them inside the Airtable database. So now availability negotiation, it is what we will do next. Name this block. The AI agent doesn't know what time it is. Sounds weird, but it's true because the AI agent has no connection to the real world unless we give it one. And the connection is the tool. For this, I will write a small tool that gives it the current time and date. Why is this important? Well, let's say the customer says on the phone, I'm available tomorrow. How does the AI agent know what date tomorrow is if it doesn't know what date is today? And for this, I'm prompting it as follows. Before doing anything else, first check the current date and time by calling the respective function, so that you know what the customer is referring to when they're using relative dates such as tomorrow or Thursday. This is for your own internal reference, which means it won't read it back to the customer. And then the steps. Ask the customer when are you available, gather the data, check the availability, and so on. Now, how do we build this tool? We click plus again, and instead of API call, we choose function. Now, this is the only step that is slightly technical, but bear with me. You don't have to remember any of this because you can download the complete AI agent, and this is already pre-configured. So this is JavaScript, which is the language of the internet. And what we want to basically do here is we just remove everything that is in here except for the return. And we have to return output vars. So this means output variables. This is a specification by Voiceflow. And what should the name be? Well, something intuitive, current date and time. And it will be date. Date is a function in JavaScript that returns the current date and time. And you can see this because we can test it right now by clicking run. Now, when I click run, it runs this, and for some reason it doesn't display what's happening here. It should display output vars. But what I can do here to see if it works, I can click download logs and then save them to my computer and open the file, and I can see here current date and time was set to the current date and time, so I know that it works. I think there's a little glitch in Voiceflow right now, but it doesn't matter, it worked. Then I set the name, current date and time, get the current date and time, all good. And now I need to add a function to connect with the calendar. So I do the same thing. I click API call, create new tool, and I will call this tool check calendar availability, checks the availability in the calendar. And here I will connect with a tool called cal.com. Maybe you know it. It's similar to Calendly. So I go to cal.com. If you don't have an account yet, you click sign in. And this is how the dashboard looks like. You can see all event types. And what I now need is again to connect with its API. I will search for cal.com API documentation. This is their page, and what I'm interested in here is the section called slots, which shows me the available slots that somebody has that can be pre-configured here in the dashboard. If I click here, I get to the appointment booking page, and these are these time slots that are available and that can be set inside your home services company. Now, to access these slots, I need this API connection, get available time slots for an event type. And here again, I have a similar connection string that I need. I will need this one, so I copy this. And I also need to specify the cal API version, which I will do in a second. So I have get, I paste this, and then a header called cal API version. This is mandatory, and its value is specified here as well. It's this one. So I specify it here. But now I have to specify some more details here because I need to specify the exact time or the exact day when I'm looking for slots. So there are these extra variables that we see here: event type ID, start, and end. And I will specify them at the end of the connection string after a question mark separated with ampersand signs. So the event type ID you can get if you go to your cal.com page and you click on your event type. Up here in the address bar, you need to copy that string. So it's a number. So here I will specify event type ID equals this number, and then start and end. Okay, so I'll fill these in a second. But I first need to create variables for this. So I need just one variable because we're talking about one day. And we will call this preferred booking day. And we'll say the preferred day for booking an appointment for the customer. And I'll specify this here inside the start date. And one more thing I have to say is in ISO format. So this is a format like year, month, day. So it's a standardized format. So I'll specify these in both fields, preferred booking day at the start, preferred booking day at the end, and then also the time zone. So here you will select the time zone that fits you best. For me, it's Europe, Bucharest. That's where I'm at. So I click run and I'll test this. So let's select a date. Let's say we do tomorrow, which is September 5th. So ideally it should show me all the time slots, and it does in this format. So it shows me all the free times that I have tomorrow. So this is what will be returned to the customer. So we will close this, and now we will need an exit condition for this step, which is a preferred date and time has been found. So if a preferred time and date has been found and the customer selects a specific time slot, then we're good. Again, selecting the right model, disabling knowledge base again, and we are all set. Now we've got two more steps to go. This step will book the actual time into the calendar and into Airtable, which is point 6, slot confirmation and booking. And now here I forgot to add one more arrow into Airtable because we need to create a ticket inside of the bookings database. So we'll call this create booking. All right, it's a bit crowded, but you'll get the point. Let's name this agent accordingly. Slot confirmation and booking. Now this is how we prompted it. We confirm the chosen time back to the customer. We create a booking into the calendar using the calendar tool. So this is what we will implement now. Then if we want to create this booking, we also have to link back to the customer and to the service. And this is important. If you've forgotten the ID of the service, peek at the services provided and take a look at the ID of that service. So we will have to do a tool for that as well, but we've already built it. So we just link it. Then how to create the record with all the details such as service urgency address, contact service ID, and so on. And after you've created the booking, update the customer's record to contain the respective booking. Through the update customer tool, the record is customer ID. So we have to get this customer ID into a variable in the previous step where we recorded their details and created a customer. We will do this in a sec. But first, we will connect the calendar tool in order to create a booking. So for this, we go back to the cal.com documentation and we need the sections about bookings. And this is it. So what we need to do here is to create a booking. So we will click here. And this is how it looks like. This is the connection string that we need. Again, we need to specify the Cal API version. So let's just copy them one by one. So I click plus API call, create API tool. Here we select post because we post to this endpoint. We choose the Cal API version, the one that is specified over here. So we have to look which one it is. It's this one. It's a different one than the first. This is what I got wrong in the beginning. I thought it was the same, but they're different. Let's give this a name. Create booking in calendar. Creates the booking in the calendar as opposed to create the booking in Airtable, which we will do in a second. And here we will create a raw body data. And we'll have a look at the example data over here that we will copy. So we'll need everything until event type ID, and then we will cut down to exactly the parts that we need. So we don't need booking field responses. We just need the event type ID. And this is basically it. We will just replace it with the one from our account. And then we need start date and all of these details that I will create variables for. Now I filled in all these details and all these variables that will be extracted by the LLM. Now the next function that I need is a reference to the available services, which I've already implemented. I don't have to configure again. Then I need to create a booking in the database. So again, API call, create new API tool. I'll name it create booking in database. And here we'll need the post request to the connection string of Airtable's bookings table. So we go back to Airtable and on the left, we select the bookings table and then create records. And then we will copy this over here. This is our connection string. We will paste this here. Again, we will set the authentication headers and then the body will be raw data. We'll copy this over here to have a reference and then we'll fill in the variables. So again, we're going to need the address, the client ID, service ID, issue description, and so on. So I'm going to quickly create them. Now you can see I filled in everything. I've created the input variables. I filled them in. So it's a lot of writing work, but once you get it done, it's there. So you don't have to look at it anymore. So now we need to get this customer ID. And we do this when we go back to the step where we collected the details. We will quickly do this in this step. And here we have this tool. And here we have this little thing called capture response. All right. So this is in order to save data that comes back from the API request. Now you remember when we created a new customer, the API response returned their ID. This is what we need. So we click on plus and then new object and we call it customer ID. And we will create a variable called customer ID, the ID of the customer just created. Create variable. And here in object, we specify where exactly inside the return object this ID is. And it's inside the records array at position 0.id. Okay, a bit technical, you're right, but once you've got it done, it's done. So now we can reference this customer ID variable everywhere inside this Voiceflow flow. So this is what we will do now. We will come here inside the prompt and replace everywhere where we need the customer ID with this variable. So for example, here we say customer ID, we see it already appears here, so we link it. We link it here. And now we've specifically mentioned this to the LLM and now it knows that it should use this. Sadly, we cannot specify it directly inside of this tool. So I cannot specify it here. As you see, it doesn't appear. Customer ID doesn't appear. This is why I had to specify it inside of the prompt over here. Now the last tool we need in order to link the booking to the customer and the customer to the booking, we need to update the customer. So we click create API and we'll call this update customer. Here we need a patch request. We can see this in the API documentation of Airtable. We go to the customers table and then there's this upsert update request and we can see that it's a patch request. Okay, so it will only update the data that we include, not everything. So we will copy this and then we will copy the example. So patch to this, specify the headers to authenticate raw data. We will copy this content for reference, and then we will change the variables inside. So here in the ID, we will use the ID from the previous step inside the prompt. And it also has a field called bookings that we will also update, but we don't need to update the rest of the data. Just the ID and the bookings. This is all we need. So let's specify input variables for it. Okay, just added them. Everything looks good. We forgot the exit condition here, quickly adding it, which is the booking has succeeded. When the booking has succeeded, we are good. And the last step is the agent that confirms and wraps up everything. So we connect this here. We quickly have a look at Miro. We just created these two steps here. And the final one is the confirmation and wrap up, which we will copy into the name. Again, we do the same thing here. And what it will do, it will confirm the appointment, repeat back service date, time, and address, tell them they'll get a confirmation email and SMS, explain how to reschedule or cancel, and thank them warmly and close the chat. Now, we don't need any tool for this one. We just set everything as we did before. And it has one exit condition, which will lead to a closed conversation. So this exit condition is costume has nothing else to add and says goodbye. And now this step here will be connected to something that's built into Voiceflow, which is this end block. So we'll put this end block here. We will connect it. We just call it end chat and nothing else has to be configured. Now this is our AI agent. I'd say it looks pretty similar with what we did over here in Miro. The only thing is we cannot see the external database connections, but they are inside of the agent. Now that we've built the AI agent, we can test it by clicking this play button here in the start node. And we can see that two different windows appeared. One to the right, which is the chatbot, where I can chat with it and test it. And the one on the lower left is where I can see the steps that it goes through. And I can also see this by the highlighted step, which is highlighted by a blue border. Now let's tell the AI agent, hi. I've got a deeply stained carpet with coffee stains. And then it asks me, it tries to see how urgent it is. So we're in the issue capturing step. So it asks me clarifying questions. How urgent is this? And I say, it's been like this for years. Let's schedule an appointment. Now it has understood that it is not urgent. And now it looked up the carpet cleaning prices and I can see it here. It says get available prices, get available services succeeded. So if we quickly have a look at our database into the services table, we can see that carpet cleaning costs 320 and takes 210 minutes. So this is exactly what the AI agent told me here. It asked me if I want to book the service and I say yes, proceed. Now, it needs my address and any access node. And I say, I live at 13 Park Lane. There's a red door. Ring the bell on the left. Now, it asks me for my name, my phone number, and my email address. So I provide them. So now it can create the booking. And it repeats it to me. Is it correct? I say yes. So it followed the script. And now it goes on to check the availability. When would you like us to come by? So I'll say, how about tomorrow morning? Now, because it has called the tool that gets them the current date, it knows that tomorrow morning is Friday and it's the 5th of September. So let's say I can do 8:30 a.m. Now it proceeds to properly book the slot and we can see it here that it books them and we can see the tool calls that it went through. So we can see it called the tool create booking in calendar, then it called the tool get available services, then it called the tool update customer, create booking in database. Everything looks good. Now let's have a quick look at the database, see what happened there, and it looks good. So this is the new record that was created, my address, my name, which is a link to the actual record inside the client's table. The service, again, which is also a link, deeply stained carpet with coffee, 5th of September, worked well. The date tool call worked well. Everything looks good. Now let's have a look in the calendar. Let's have a look at this week. So I see that it booked it at the right time on Friday, the 5th of September, 8:30 a.m. Exactly what I said here. So all good. So now I'm the client. I have this calendar invite. Your home services company also has this calendar invite, and you also have the entry inside your CRM here inside the bookings. So you can have a look here when you come home from the tools. The calendar is already booked. Super easy for you. You don't have to pick up the phone or get back to your text messages while you're busy working. So it says, okay, do you need anything else? And I say, no, that's it. So then it went into the last state, it closed the chat, all good. All right, so far so good. So we've implemented the agent in Voiceflow. This step is done. So now we need to connect it to a phone number. So it will be a voice bot that we can call. And for this, we need to do two things. We first need to buy the phone number and then we will connect it. Okay, so how do we buy the phone number? We go to Twilio. Twilio is a service that allows you to buy virtual phone numbers. So these are numbers that are connected to the internet, and Twilio connects them to the public phone service so people can reach you. This is Twilio. You click on start for free. If you already have an account, you will log in. So you can click login here. You will add your personal details. Here I already connected with Google, and now I have to quickly verify my number. Okay, we are all set. So this is how the dashboard looks like. And now here on the left, you can buy numbers. You go to phone numbers, you click on manage, and then you click on buy a number. And now here you can buy any number from anywhere where you are, and you can search for certain geographies, anything that you like. Let's just pick the first one. So then you click on buy, and then here you have to agree to these details. It costs $1.15 per month. You click buy, and then it's bought. Now I've already bought a number for this, so you can see them inside active numbers. This is how it looks like after you've bought the number inside the configure menu. And what you will choose is inside configure with, you will choose webhook, 3ML bin, and so on. So you need this webhook. And now this is all you need to do inside of Twilio. Now you go back to Voiceflow. And here you click onto interfaces on the left. And the interfaces have two things here: widget, we will use this in a second, and telephony. So the telephony, here you will click on import number, and then here you will insert the phone number on Twilio inside this window, okay? So we quickly go back to Twilio. We will copy this phone number. We will copy this number and we will paste it inside of Voiceflow over here. You paste it over here, then you need your Twilio account SID. So you find this right in the front here in the account dashboard. You click Save Changes, and here you have these two fields, account SID and auth token. So you copy both of them inside of these two fields, the account SID and the auth token. You can give this number a name, for example, AI intake agent, and then you click import. Now I've already imported one number, so I'm going to skip this step, but these are the steps that you need to do. So I will just assign an existing number that I already have, which is this one, and then I will assign this to an environment development, and I click assign number. So now everything is already set up. So now if I call this AI agent,
thanks for reaching out to Next Home Services. What issue can I help you with today?
Hey, I've got a very dirty carpet. It's full of coffee stains and I need your help.
Got it. I'm here to help with your carpet cleaning. To get started, could you please provide a bit of detail? For example.
So you get the point. It works. Now we want to publish this onto our website as well. For this, we click here on widget and we have this code over here. So this code here needs to be copied inside our website. Now every website builder has their own place where you put these custom codes, like for example, where you put Google Analytics or where you put any other third-party provider. I will show you the example with Framer because this is what I use, but it's very similar to every other project and website builder. So let's just say that this is your home services page. And now over here, I can go to my settings, and down here, I can add my code snippet into custom code at the end of the body tag. So I'll paste it over here, I'll click save, and I need to do one more thing before I access it. I have to go back to Voiceflow to deploy this into production, and I do this here at publish, and I need to click publish. Only then will it be accessible from your home services page. Now it's building, preparing to publish, doing everything else. And don't forget to also change the phone number to point to this production version, because production and development versions are different. So let's just quickly do this before we go back to the chatbot. We go back to telephony, and then here in the environment, we choose production. Click save, very quick step. Now we go back to our consultancy website. So this is just a sample, right? I've hosted this under my consultancy website, but this is, let's say, your home services website. You click publish, and then once it's done, you can open the actual website, and then you can see here on the lower right that a button appeared, test your agent, right? So I click this, and now this chatbot appears here. It is exactly the chatbot that I deployed just now. So now I can just start texting it. Hi, my carpet is dirty with coffee stains, please help. And now it will do the exact same thing that we've tested and that you've seen in the demo. So what we've done just now was we've connected a phone number and we've also added a chatbot interface all in one go, which was quicker than we thought. Now, again, this is what we've seen today. We did a live demo in the beginning where we saw the agent in action on the phone and on the website. Then we've designed the AI agent conversation here in Miro to be clear about all the steps that were required throughout the whole conversation so that it was clear for us what exactly is being done and we could design the high-level flow. Then we took each of these steps and mapped them directly into Voiceflow, each step getting a separated AI agent step that would fulfill that particular step. Once that was done, we connected it to a phone number that we bought here via Twilio, and we saw how easy it is to buy this phone number and then easily paste the details into Voiceflow. We also added a widget to the website by copying this code inside of our website builder settings at the end of the body tag. This way we got a complete AI voice agent that's usable both via text and via voice. Now you can download the complete file that you can import directly into Voiceflow and hit the ground running inside the description below. There's a link and I'll show you how to do this. You go to Voiceflow, you go to the main dashboard, and there is a button once you click on projects over here at the top called import. So you click import and then here you will drop this VF file from your local drive. This way you will have access to the complete AI agent that you see here, and the only thing you have to do is you have to come to the tool connections, for example, check calendar availability and replace the respective strings like the event type ID here, or for Airtable, you replace your API key and the connection string as well. This is all you have to do. You can hit the ground running right away. This is part of a 30 AI agents in 30 days challenge. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to not miss out on any of the other agents that I'm putting out. This is agent number 15. And one last thing, if you have a home services company and would like to implement such an AI agent into your own business, feel free to reach out. And if you're not a home services company, share this video with somebody you know in your network who wants to automate their client intake. That being said, I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.